I have a real auspicious day in my life, May 22nd, that over a 30-year period, I've lost 8 friends and family members on that specific day. So it's a hard day to get through as the years go by, and this year it was like especially hard, so I wrote this. I never blacked out, not once. Some things are hazy, but I can still remember feelings and moments that I would rather have obliterated on one of my many attempts at self-poisoning. There are not enough bottles, spoons, or pipes left in this world to hold or obscure my memorials that overlap each other. Like on May 22nd, I have lost 8 loved ones on this day over a 30-year era, and I can't remember them one at a time. They gang up on my conscience all at once and demand respects and sacrifice, like bony apparitions made flesh, and I shake them off like a junkie going through withdrawal. And I never cried on May 22nd until today. The DMV, the job, the insurance, the bank, the PO, and the memorial demand became too much, and I wept like a child and cracked like a sidewalk in an earthquake. And I pulled over at Western just before Hollywood Boulevard on a day that started out cool and cloudy in Echo Park and became dry and hot after many denials and losses. And I remembered the dead, their similarities and their differences. And I had my own holiday that was somber and painful. And I craved opiates and cocaine in my aching veins, and crack smoke and blunt hits in my dried out and blistered lungs, and whiskey and rum and vodka and gin in my diseased and bleeding gullet, and peyote and angel dust and acid in my decayed mind, and love and happiness in my empty soul, as tears ran down the leather cover on my El Camino steering wheel, and I felt like I might ignite into a fireball and finish Griffith Park, and lay Elysian Park to waste and ash as well, and I would be fanned to conflagration by a permanent Santa Ana that would lay open every aspect of this city of angels that has taken so much and given so little in return. I would devour it like raw flesh laid before a ravenous beast, with my heart blackened and shriveled by the smoke and the heat, like a Dodger dog forgotten on a Memorial Day barbecue grill after the celebrated Angelinos had gorged themselves over a forgotten memory of fallen soldiers and buried dreams from a past that only survives as a treatment for a script that can only be funded by a producer that makes reality television to avoid paying union dues and overhead costs of hiring real writers. I wipe my tear-blurred eyes on my poorly tattooed forearm, and I spit a cottony wad out the window of the noisy El Camino. I notice the engine is overheating, and I pray to the silver Jesus on the wooden rosary that I bought off a homeless guy, that I would kindly not lose another loved one on this most auspicious and personal Memorial Day. If someone else has to go, then tomorrow would be better for me. You have to think it into nothing. You have to wish it into nothing. You have to dream it into nothing. It has already become nothing without you. Even though you thought it was something that would always be there, something you could count on, and you thought you never took it for granted. You were always concerned, always willing to work on it, adapt for the sake of keeping some part of it alive, but it became nothing without you. It became nothing, and you still think about it. You still think about something that just vanished, became nothing, does not exist, like it never was. Even the memories seem unreal, and you need to forget them to finish the vanishing of something that meant everything into nothing that means nothing. A huge earthquake hit the Bay Area, and the city of San Francisco burned, and the gold-silver rush era ended, and the Bank of America was born. Frisco was rebuilt, and if you look at the history that has passed since then, you get a view of human culture advancing in a rapid convulsion like it never has before. Everything is so much faster and bigger and overwhelming now in comparison to then. There are more people, and the distance between them is lessened by technology. There's no going back, or at least that's how it seems, but the most prized thing in the human existence is still intimacy and love. Material captures the attention with spectacle, but anyone with any material can be lonely, while even the most desperately poor and downtrodden can at least find momentary shelter in intimacy and love. You can't bottle it and sell it. You can sell the illusion of it and attempt to make it permanent through ritual, like marriage. But you can't make it so because it is fleeting and rare and takes so much out of a person to achieve it with another person, and then it taxes while it fortifies those who share it. It is the most complex and difficult to achieve aspect of the human condition and the hardest to maintain. I've been blessed with its presence many times in my life and paid for it in agonizing moments of pain, fear, and loneliness. It can't be taken for granted, as it will never obey all the rules all the time. The best I've been able to do is appreciate it for the moment and hope the moment lasts forever. It hasn't yet. You would think our modern world would have more of it due to our abilities to move and communicate faster, but those same occurrences are also factors in muting its presence as well. Love and intimacy. I fantasize about capturing it and holding it prisoner sometimes. My precious little detainee that I will never give up for security reasons. Probably out of frustration that I'm lacking it in profound moments that I have or may have, like the city ablaze all around and the buildings falling down into piles of burning rubble. I'll read it anyway. I have done most of the damage with the bare hand or holding a sharp steel edge, but I was raised from an early age to be proficient and respectful of firearms and ballistics, and that God made people, but Sam Colt made them equal. And somewhere in an evidence room in Marin County, California, is my fallen soldier that I was forced to leave behind, a para-ordnance .45 caliber with Les Baer Custom Works and two 15-round mags, full of glazers and gold sabers. And now I'm without it. No more possibility of shooting it out for my survival, or just to get a final blow at my killer before I am done in for the dirt nap. If you come after me now, you got me dead to rights. I can't shoot back. I can't make the last stand of 15 reload and 14 and then one for me, the way it played out in my head just before every close call. That .45 was all I had against a world of terror and penalty that erred on the side of property and prestige, which wasn't my side. I was born outnumbered and needed a long shot to make it through the scrapes and narrow misses. And now I have only the memory of the cold steel against my skin and near my fingertips, just in case I get cornered. I used to be with, but now I'm just without, for your safety, not mine.